Hello and welcome to the session on online journalism, trends, characteristics and future. The pattern of production and consumption of news have changed enormously in this era of digital media explosion. The internet, which is the backbone of this revolution, has opened the way for a new breed of journalism called online journalism. Online journalism offers unparalleled options to choose for processing and delivering news. In traditional news media of print and broadcast, journalists publish their newspapers or air bulletins at a time they choose, in the order they choose, and to the depth they choose. And the users are forced to consume the news accordingly. Contrary to it, online journalism allows the producer to process and break the news round the clock, and the audience can access it at any time from any part of the world through the internet. Let's discuss the characteristics of online journalism which make it possible to anytime, anywhere production and consumption of news. Characteristics of online journalism. Online journalism utilizes the four key characteristics of the networked computer environment they operate in. They are interactivity, hypertextuality, multimediality, and archivability. In this module, we will discuss each of them in detail. Interactivity. Interactivity is related to the user's control over the content. Indeed, on the internet, the consumer can determine where, when, how and what he or she wants to consult. In this respect, communication on the internet seems to shift from the traditional transmission model of communication to more balanced communication patterns of consultation and conversation. With interactivity, the online journalist can predetermine to a certain extent the reader or participant's progress through the material, but manifold navigation pathways, branching options and hyperlinks encourage the reader or participant to continue to explore various narrative threads assembled by the reporter, writer or editor. Readers or participants can respond instantly to material presented by the online journalist. This response can take several forms. Email to the reporter or editor resembles a traditional letter to editor of print publications, but email letters can be published much sooner online than in print. Online journalists can also take the advantage of threaded discussions that let readers respond immediately to an article and to the comments of other readers in a bulletin board style discussion that can be accessed at any time. Readers can become participants in the ongoing co-creation of an editorial environment that evolves from the online journalist's original reporting and the initial article. Hypertextuality. Hypertextuality is a networking function of new media that allows a large quantity of information to freely move around within a series of interconnected nodes in the network. Hypertext writing is one of the main characteristics of digital news sites that makes them different from the other news media. The term hypertext was first used by Ted Nelson in 1965 to describe the new kinds of text made possible by computers. Hyperlinks represent the primary mechanism for this interactivity on the web, linking the various elements of a lengthy, complex work, introducing multiple points of view and adding depth and detail. Traditional journalism guides the reader through a linear narrative. The online journalist lets readers become participants as they click their way through a hyperlinked set of pages. Narrative momentum and a strong editorial voice pull a reader through a linear narrative. A news story on the internet should be structured in chunks of information, all linked to one primary anchor text, which can be seen as a top level that provides the essence of the story. This implies a non-linear type of storytelling that might combine the aspects of both print and broadcast media. It is, of course, important that the online journalist can keep the reader curious enough to browse through the different chunks of information. The online media professional can use hyperlinks that are either internal or external. Internal links refer to other texts within the site, while external links refer to texts or sites located elsewhere on the internet. Effective use of internal and external hyperlinks is a basic element of good online media production. It enables journalists to refer their readers to all kinds of background or related information ranging over archival documents, illustrations, primary sources, multiple perspectives on a particular topic, and so on. Multimediality. By multimediality, we mean the extent to which text, graphics, sound, voice and images are translated and integrated into a common digital form. It must be emphasized that multimedia refers to a new media format that results from the convergence and integration of traditional print, audio and video formats. Internet provides opportunity to the online journalist to present non-linear types of storytelling by using hypertext and multimedia in innovative ways. One of the important implications of multimedia is that the online journalist must learn how to work with these different formats. For his writing, the journalist will also need the skills to decide for each story that which part or parts of the story will consist of text and which part will carry audio or visual elements. Archivability. Internet has provided the ability of storing and archiving journalistic contents, including that can be viewed anytime from any place. The archival function for its part can be seen as an aspect of both interactivity and hypertextuality. Indeed, an online archive or the information it carries is hyperlinked with other text, while the interactive element lies in the user's ability to control the search in the archive. This function by internet is providing more depth information to the journalistic contents. Trends in online journalism. Online news consumption has undergone shifts across the globe. The main one is a rise in news audiences accessing journalism through their mobile devices. History shows that journalists adopt new technologies for news gathering if those tools are easy to use, if they enhance the storytelling process, and if they accelerate the gathering of news. The reverse also applies. Reporters will reject news gathering technologies if those tools are too complicated to use. Journalists are unwilling to waste time with complex technologies. The mobile phone is the latest in a long line of technologies that journalists have embraced. Mobile phones are a crucial piece of equipment changing not only the way readers and viewers consume the news today, but also sometimes the way that content is being produced. So, it is very essential to discuss what mobile journalism is all about. Mobile journalism. Mobile journalism is an emerging form of new media storytelling where reporters use portable electronic devices with network connectivity to gather, edit and distribute news from his or her community. Such reporters, sometimes known as mojos. These are staff or freelance journalists who may use digital cameras and camcorders, laptop, PCs, smartphones or tablet devices. A broadband wireless connection or cellular phone network is then used to transmit the story and imagery for publication. The term mojo has been in use since 2005. Mobile journalism offers opportunities for media companies around the world to get multimedia content onto the web almost immediately. Mojos stream video live to the web, write text stories with a portable keyboard, take still images and record and stream audio interviews using only a mobile phone. Around the world, groups of innovative journalists and organizations have embraced smartphones for delivering images and videos as well as text to the web. The Thomson Reuters news agency has been a major pioneer from its European headquarters in London, equipping its journalists with a mobile journalism toolkit since 2007. Mobile phones allow journalists to swap their heavy camera equipment for a smaller device. That development has been more marked in the recent decade with the spread of the converged newsroom and the 24/7 news cycle. The arrival in 2007 of the Mojo or mobile journalist is a significant development in the evolution of reporting tools. A Mojo streams video live to the web, records audio interviews with the phone's built-in recorder, takes still images and writes text messages with fold-away keyboards before sending content wirelessly to the office. The biggest difficulties that Mojos encounter are in getting stories back to the newsroom from the field and the fact that Mojo work gobbles up data power. Mojos need to know where to find free or cheap Wi-Fi networks for those occasions when a 3G network is not available. The most impressive and exclusive form of mobile journalism. Let's call it full Mojo. For the sake of this definition, it is done with software from a Canadian software startup company called Vericoder Technologies. This is by Audio app. With this software, it is possible to create television and radio news packages entirely on the phone. That is, a reporter in the field records audio, stills and video and edits the content entirely on an iPhone, or records it with an iPhone and transfers the content to an iPad for editing and packaging. The main implications of a Mojo approach are: 1. It is easier for the reporter to record video and audio without carrying bulky kit. 2. Reporters get news on the web or to the TV studio or radio newsroom almost live. 3. Equipment costs are low. 4. Mojos generally work alone. 5. A group of Mojos can cover a major story from a range of angles. 6. Ethical training becomes more important because Mojo work is fast-paced and it is easy to overstep ethical boundaries in the rush to cover the news. Future of online journalism. The internet or the online community may be a very rich source of information and may serve as a very fast medium for communication also. But online journalism is a double-edged sword, a very sharp one. It has very useful advantages and at the same time it also has very dangerous disadvantages. It involves some ethical dilemmas too. For journalists as much as anybody, the internet represents a challenge. The development of new communication networks is profoundly transforming the gathering, production and distribution of information. Compared to the traditional ways of obtaining information, information can be obtained in seconds from microblogs like Twitter, and then a moment later it will be followed by pictures of what's happening or just happened on TwitPic, Facebook, Instagram, Flickr, etc. And another moment later, videos will be uploaded on YouTube, Facebook, etc. Everyone on the internet can be a source of information. Even posts on Twitter and Facebook can be sources of information. Journalists may utilize the internet to gather information. They can curate those information and create news content out of it. Some circumstances may disable journalists to be in the place of the event that they have to report in. It may be there was no correspondent there and the place is very far away. The online community can update news organizations real time for it to be broadcast news. Journalists aren't everywhere, so they can't really gather news that was unlike the grassroots community who was there the whole time and acting as eyewitness to what is happening. Complete verification of information coming from the internet in just a minute is impossible. But to be in par with other news organizations and journalists that also use the internet in means of gathering information and disseminating it, they have to publish it fast. The internet is indeed the fastest in terms of being a source and being a way of distributing information. But journalists must also understand how important accuracy is. Journalists must keep in mind that factual and contextual accuracy is their priority over speed. Let us summarize what we have discussed so far. The impact of the internet on journalism takes a reflective turn. Not only has the internet changed journalism, it has forced people to rethink different aspects of journalism, practices and journalism education. The internet promises to have a larger impact on journalism than any of the changes in information and communication technology that have preceded it. Internet has emerged as a viable publishing medium. It offers journalists a new set of reporting skill. It has an impact on readers and the information to which they have access. And it has changed the way people think about issues related to journalism. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. 1. Discuss the characteristics that distinguish online journalism from traditional media. 2. Explain how a journalist can report news using a mobile device. 3. Differentiate hypermedia and hypertext. 4. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of online journalism in this digital era. 5. Compare and evaluate any two online newspaper websites of your choice. 6. How the hypertext differs from hypermedia. Elucidate with examples. Now, you may go through the references given here. Impact of Internet on Journalism by Arun Bhatia, published on 2005. Online Journalism Handbook, Skills to Survive and Thrive in the Digital Age by Paul Bradshaw. Mobile Journalism Handbook, written by Taylor and Francis, Quinn and Burham, published by Routledge. Digital Journalism by Jones and Lee, published by Sage on 2011. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic soon. Have a nice day.